So, Michael, you have an ex-wife. You know what my favorite...
Yeah, dropped her off on a dinosaur island.
Yeah, you know what my favorite thing to do to get back at my ex-wife is?
What?
Take my daughter to a dino island, put her in a camper, have her cook breakfast.
Hey, sometimes you need breakfast, huh?
Yeah.
Eats the crackles, almost gets everybody killed.
What are you doing over there?
Yeah.
I'm looking for dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Oh my god, a dino!
Oh my goodness.
Quick, take a picture.
Wait, is it a Metasaurus or a
Wait.
Vegosaurus?
Is this the one of two reactions in the movie? Are we happy to see the dinosaurs or are we about to die?
It depends if they're an herbivore or a
No,
carnivore.
it depends. Is it raining? If it's raining, you're going to die.
The dinosaurs have a weird sense of dramatic irony. I like
if
it.
you happen to take its baby, you're probably going to die.
Moral of the story. Human trafficking is bad, especially when it's dinosaur babies.
Moral of the story is it always starts with the oohs and the ahs, and then it's the running and the screaming.
And the death. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
We're here again.
Again.
We're back.
This time, the world has been lost.
This time, it's different, slightly, kind of. They took the fences away.
The first one was like, we're going to make a zoo. This one's like, we're going to watch them eat these people. Which is basically the movie.
And welcome back to Every Film in the Book, everyone. This week, we are watching more dinosaurs.
More of them.
More dinosaurs.
Is it our Jurassic January still? Is it still
Yes.
January?
Yes.
I'm losing track of time because we went back in time to see dinosaurs. Whoa.
But this movie's 4 years in the future.
Yeah, so again, another movie I haven't seen. I saw the first one.
You saw the first
Before.
one. Yes.
But this time I did not see this one.
Yeah, and
until just now.
What did you think? What did you think of this one?
Overall, I think it was it's kind of a typical second movie in a trilogy where they lean into the creatures.
Yeah. They definitely upped the body count.
They
Yeah.
back off from the plot a little bit, and it's fine. It's good
when
popcorn
when
movie.
you think about it, this one is very simple. It's just
Yep.
people go to the island, people get stuck on the island, people try to get off the island, and now dinosaurs are in San Diego.
The only reason why we're watching is because, hey, that guy was in the last movie. And he's going back to an island full of dinosaurs?
Whoa.
Like, whoa.
Well, think about it. If they made that film and nobody from the original was in it.
Yeah, I mean,
You
there
know,
wouldn't be
would've-
much staying power for The Lost World Jurassic Park.
But they do drop some bombs on us.
yeah.
First of all,
Should have dropped a bomb on that island.
Taking care of the problem
Solid
all at
point.
once.
let's see. They do a great job, but there's a couple big holes. Like, I don't know where his daughter came from. We didn't know,
Yeah.
like, because that makes you think, oh, it's been like 15 years
Right.
since the last one, and then they're like, oh, it's been 4 years. They give time, like, why say
Yeah,
an
why
amount of
give a time
years
frame?
if it's just going to confuse
And
you?
then he's got a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah, and you're like, when was this always a thing?
And one of
Like,
those
Yeah.
cargo ships outfitted to carry a T-Rex is going to take years to build.
Right.
Yeah, more than 4.
And that
Yeah.
can't be the first one. They had to try it to see if it would work and then build the actual version.
Yeah, and how did they test it? Did they just get, like, really strong elephants to try and push against it?
They took it to one of the other islands with tried it with different people, but they didn't film any of that.
But, like, having Jeff Goldblum as the main character is kind of odd, just because he was kind of more of, like, the side character in the first
Color
one.
commentary for the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gives off side character vibes. I don't know how to describe that. Like, not really side, but maybe like secondary.
Right.
He doesn't give off
And like
main
his
guy vibes.
only purpose in this movie is to really just tell us what's happening in the movie. Like in this beginning here, where John Hammond is like, I'm sending all these people to an island. This will be
That's
great.
gotta be
Your
explained.
girlfriend's there.
It's
And
got to
then
be
Jeff-
explained somehow.
And then Jeff Goldblum's got to go,
So what you're telling me
so-
is you're doing the exact same thing that you just did.
So you're telling me there's people on an island and there's dinosaurs on that island? What am I to do?
Make it make sense to me. Your girlfriend's there. I'll be there tomorrow.
I will already have my bags packed.
This is a rescue mission now, and it's leaving.
Gotta save my girlfriend.
Yeah, he
Apartments.com.
The dinosaur's eating me.
he basically plays the role of what everybody else is thinking. Just the why? Why are we doing
Right.
this? Why is this happening?
Yeah, and like even in the first one, he was just the mathematician or like the chaos theory person. So he has no business going back to the dinosaur. Like he's not a dinosaur expert. So when he's like telling everybody like, "Hey, don't move, the T-Rex is coming," it's like, I'm not gonna listen to you. You're a math guy.
He
Jeff Goldblum.
has experience though.
Yeah.
Because
that's
he was in
true.
the last one.
Kind of, it's like Aliens, you know. They bring Sigourney Weaver and they're like, "Hey, you've dealt with this before. Like, help us get through the aliens."
And suddenly they're an expert.
And suddenly you're an expert
Yep.
just because you survived. And he didn't. Well, no, I mean he survived.
He wasn't
He's
wearing
right.
any leather in this
Yeah,
film.
no leather.
No leather. Touch Jeff Goldblum.
Mm.
Sad.
I feel like he
Huge
wrote that
mistake.
into his contract after watching the first movie. He's like, I'm not doing leather
Listen,
again.
running in that was a nightmare. There's not enough talcum powder in the world.
So there's like one conflict in this, right?
Yeah.
They get there first, all lovey-dovey. Then all the helicopters dropping off this mercenary team
Yeah.
get there too. And that's kind of the only thing that butts heads other than survival.
Well, and like
And the
when-
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, survival from the... Yeah.
But like when these mercenaries show up, they get like right to work. We don't see them like land anything. They're just already capturing
Yeah.
dinosaurs, and you're just like you guys don't want to like get cozy first, like kind of survey the land.
Set up
The
camp.
vehicles are
Yeah.
being brought in by a helicopter, and then you see them doing 80 miles an hour chasing dinosaurs with huge rifles going, let's catch it with a rope.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you guys have been here for 2 minutes. How do
Yeah.
you already have this all set up?
No. You know, they're efficient, they're quick.
They're
Well, and they
ready to
do
go?
the classic, the guy funding it, now it has to rely on the guy who's experienced with this. You know,
Yeah.
they give you that.
Yeah.
There-
Where
There's
the guy
gotta be that
snaps at him in the
dynamic.
car where they're like, if you... things hunt along roads. Brr, it's a buffet now.
Yeah.
Cancel
Oh my
that.
God.
We'll find a different place to camp. It's like, shut up.
I love that guy ripping into him. He's like, well, yeah, you can set up camp here. I don't give a shit. Like, I hope you get eaten, and then I'll go hunt the T-Rex by myself.
He
like, keep-
monologues for a while.
Keep your money. I want to shoot a T-Rex.
Like, of all the things you could pay me, it is meaningless. I just want to blow a T-Rex head off. He just has like a full medieval cannon set up in a field somewhere. And just
Well, they could have used some heavy artillery.
yeah, they honestly could have. But then again, you don't have any trophies to take back.
I guess another small storyline that fits in here is she's trying to prove that T-Rexes are like family-oriented creatures,
Right.
and we're like, they're trying to fucking murder you as a family. So I guess that works.
Yeah, she wants to prove that they would
Like, that's
save
her-
their young.
That's her academic reason of being there.
Right.
So
Yeah,
they do
like-
give you a little bit.
Right, but are you writing a thesis? Like, why is this so important to you?
No notes get taken.
No.
Just some
Um,
pictures.
Yeah,
what's-
she's like, I can prove something's happening. I just need to take pictures of a nest.
Oh, and by the way, Vince Vaughn is in this movie.
Yeah. I completely forgot he was in
Yeah,
this.
I forgot he was too.
I just keep thinking of him in Dodgeball. He's just like chugging yoo-hoo and like he's a failure. I love it.
Well, he kind of failed at this too.
Well, no, honestly, this whole thing is his fault. They could have gotten off that island so much quicker if he didn't decide to be a whole anarchist or whatever the hell he is.
Yeah, he's trying
Yeah.
to save the dinosaurs, and so there's a little baby dinosaur he's got to save. That really was the downfall of the whole, like...
Well, that was the
Yeah.
reason the next hour and 15 minutes happened.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, people are going to die because of Vince Vaughn. Like, I guess he's the hero of the movie. We should all back him.
Yeah, he becomes the sort of second character that is the emotional lead.
Well, and he gets like one little line of dialogue where he's like, Hammond sent in a plan B just in case things went wrong. And he's like, I'm that plan B.
Well, and the short dude with glasses is like, all right, everybody, let's go. And then, so the men respect him because they follow Vince Vaughn when he says something.
Yeah.
And then I guess he's really the only one that like verbally stands up to what they're doing.
Yeah.
So like they kind of flesh that out a little bit. But at the same time, it's like, we don't really give a shit. We don't really care.
And like, honestly, once they get the baby T-Rex back to their RV, that's pretty much when the story like stops. Because then it's just all those other plot lines we set up, like her discovering the T-Rex, like parental stuff, them hunting something. All of that goes out the window, and now it's just, all right, let's just get off the island. So, like, they kind of, like, waste your time for, like, almost an hour, and then they're like, oh, yeah, no, now the story starts.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about this plot setup is that there weren't, like, they basically had to elaborate on some of these things. So, like, when they're in the truck, and part of this is because they wanted a really cool scene where they threw a truck off of a cliff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why this scene happened. But she does learn that the T-Rexes come back for the babies, and then that comes into play later in the movie. So it's like they are kind of setting stuff up, but it's pretty... Like, you didn't have to have that scene for us to put 2 and 2 together at the end of like, oh, if the baby's calling for the mom, it'll come. Like,
it's like we could piece that together, I think, as
I
like
think
the viewing
they didn't
audience.
have to spend so much time on it.
Right.
But I do want to say it's like so many minutes of dinosaurs chasing people, and they're like, wait, we should probably say something. It's a movie. And then there's another like 5-minute gap of just trees breaking and different kinds of dinosaurs eating people in all kinds of different ways, which was cool. Like, the amount of dinosaurs eating people definitely makes up for some of the plot.
Oh yeah,
fluff.
Like the
we don't
spectacle
get.
was a lot.
It was pretty cool. We're not downplaying. Like, people get ripped in half by dinosaurs. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and there were a lot more deaths this time than in the last one. I think only 3 or 4 people last time.
Yeah,
they kind of got way more creative with it too. They didn't need the guy on the toilet.
Right. Well, and like they kind of gave us what we wanted in the first one. It's like, oh man, I want to see a dinosaur be a dinosaur. And then in this one, he's like, the T-Rex is like squishing that guy, and then he's stuck on the bottom of his foot.
Oh my god, I've been saying this whole time. It took them like 4 hours of dinosaur movie to get to the point where someone finally got stepped on by a dinosaur.
Right.
That you'd think would
stuck.
be... Yeah, you'd think that would be the biggest concern about being around the dinosaurs is just getting trampled by them, and no one has gotten trampled until this point.
Yeah, and they had that perfect scene in the beginning where the motorcycle's going through the brontosaurus.
Could've
like, if
just
that thing just
stepped on it.
stomped
Could've
on
just
Just
stomped
squish
on
them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my favorite dinosaur kill.
I do like the general feeling of the dinosaur and human violence is in the first movie, it's dinosaurs in a human surrounding.
Right.
And there's not that many kills, and it's kind of clunky, and the velociraptors have to be that cunning to try to get the kids in the kitchen.
Right.
It's like it was kind of like that. But now the people are in dinosaurs' environment, so they're much more lethal, and they're able to behave much more like dinosaurs.
Yeah, it was like that.
So you can kind of feel that.
Yeah, that whole like tall grass scene where you get to see the raptors like in their natural habitat, and the one comes like flying out and just tackles that dude.
With the
Catch
feet.
me.
That is one of my dad's favorite movie lines of all times is don't go in the long grass.
Yeah.
Like, he says it a lot. Even when there's no long grass or dinosaurs.
He is also going into the long
He's
grass.
also
though,
going
while
in.
He, while
It's like,
he's
don't
saying
go in
that.
don't go in the long grass.
Don't
What are you
do
doing?
it. Might as well follow them.
What are you
Maybe
doing?
they'll
I've been
die
bored
first.
for years.
I am trying to get eaten by a raptor.
But it is kind of neat to see like the dinosaurs struggle in the man-made environment and then just slaughter everything in their own environment.
Well, and this one kind of builds sympathy for them in like a nice way. I know like later on in the series they start trying to like build sympathy.
Right.
Like, these are still creatures. We should love them. It's like, no, they died out years ago for a reason. But like this one kind of builds that sympathy when you see them getting like kind of like poached and captured. You're like, oh shit.
Well, and they do a good job, I think, of they show you some like aerial footage, and it's just pockets of dinosaurs, and like they've all found a way to cohabitate.
Right.
And then there's even one scene, I think it's the end of the movie, where the T-Rex family and the Stegosaurus family are like walking by each other, and I'm just like,
you'd be
we get the kumbaya shit, but someone would be trying to eat the baby Stegosaurus.
Yeah, it's not just, us versus them. It's also them versus them.
Them versus them, mostly.
They are mindless creatures.
They give us,
do want to eat.
I think like 10 seconds of that where the velociraptors are chasing them inside that building.
Oh, yeah.
And they get them to like turn on each other.
Yeah.
That's how she escapes.
Yeah, but you think there would be more like, different types of dinosaurs going after each other.
Right.
And like the big dinosaurs going after the tiny dinosaurs. That didn't really
because there was some of that in the first one. That's, at the end of the first one where the T-Rex comes in and eats the velociraptor. They start fighting, kind of saves them at the end.
Right.
But in this one, it's kind of just like, okay, this kind of dinosaur. All right, you chase the people. All right, are we done? All right, you this kind of dinosaur, you chase who's ever left.
Oh, this one's got fins on it. Maybe that'll chase them better.
Not much overlap.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some, cool dinosaur stuff, whatever. I feel like there was a little bit more science-based stuff in the first movie.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, we're like, all right, we all get it. There were a bunch of dinosaurs made. Now they're here. And like there wasn't much of that. And you also lose a lot of the Jurassic Park spectacle side of it in this movie. It feels a lot more like a jungle action movie than it does like a theme park about dinosaurs.
You don't really remember that it was a theme park until the very end of the movie, where they go into the old theme park, and you're like, oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. They tried it. Oh, right. Yes.
That's why it's called The Lost World Jurassic Park instead of Jurassic Park The Lost World.
Well, I honestly kind of like the idea of it being out of the park and like in the wide open area, and like more things can happen, I think. Or at least there's more possibilities. Because, like, we'll see that in the next one where they kind of keep it open. Like, they stay away from the park. But, like, once you get back into Jurassic World and you're back into the park and, like, things start going haywire again, you instantly think, like, after the events of the first movie, why would you ever think a park would ever be a good idea?
You mean nobody made a rule? There was not a single
laws.
rule.
Yeah, like after all the lawsuits and like the billions they probably had to pay in hush money, like
right. Well, it wasn't Costa Rica, so they were like, "Well, how many Costa Ricans died? None. You can do it again if you want.
All right, we're good.
You can do it again. That's fine."
But like that's where like the wide open environment kind of makes sense. Like they take this angle where it's like, oh well, we should leave the island alone. We brought these things back. Just let them either die off or just stay on this island.
It kind of gives you a sense of, because I don't know. I don't remember if it's this one or the one before it that alludes to the more than one island thing.
Oh yeah.
Because you can kind of interpret some of the events to being like, this can't be the only island where this is you know what I mean?
Right.
So they kind of give you that, and before they get back into a park, you do get to see more of the natural habitat of them, which they kind of gave you the spectacle of the first time in the first movie of like, well, there's the thing eating leaves. It's like you do get some of those scenes too. It's not just all violence.
Yeah.
All right, my problem with the whole let's just let the dinosaurs live is now you are threatening whatever environment that is already there, and the animals that are already there are now in danger to a species that should not have been integrated into the world.
True.
Like they're not natural, so
No,
it
not at
is
all.
going to be invasive.
Well, I feel like it's just a good opportunity for the squirrels and capybara to, step their game up. And in Jurassic Park 3, there's like a 17-foot tall turkey that's just like, fuck you, T-Rex.
Survival of the fittest.
Right?
But also with that, like the only other animals we see are like some snakes. And like that's it. Like there are no animals that are just like kind of naturally around, which you're outside in a
you kind of have
forest?
to suspend some disbelief.
Because
you're right. You would see something other than dinosaurs on these
Yeah,
islands.
and like when do you see dinosaurs going after other animals as food?
Unless John Hammond, when he bought these islands, went
Killed
on
Weird.
a mass
everything
extinction event. Like he just killed everything on the island.
I don't want to see one tree
True.
frog.
He's like, no,
All of them.
this is Dino Land now. Get them all out. I'm
Well,
sick of these fucking deer.
I kind of wonder too if the dinosaurs kind of like cleared out the other animals, and so now they're hungry because
Honestly, it's probably probably it.
There's a
Yeah.
velociraptor
I mean,
climbing on our TV right now. Our cat.
Oh my god.
I feel like if you have 18 different kinds of dinosaurs on the same island,
Yeah.
they're going to start eating each other eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it would have worked. Dinosaurs
I mean,
ate
people-
each other all the time.
People do that.
And I like that. Well, I think this was kind of like rushed to make it like convenient for the plot. When you know how in the first one they're like, yeah, we put this like this thing with the lysine or whatever deficiency.
Yeah.
Like they fixed that in 5 seconds in this movie. They're just like, oh yeah, well the plants actually have lysine in them, and then
They
the
only
carnivores
eat the-
eat the
yeah.
thing. It's like,
And
all right.
you know the guy repeats Jeff Gold. Life found a way.
Yeah.
And he- as you so eloquently put, and you're just like, shut up, old man. Get to the island with the dinosaurs, please.
Oh, my God.
Life found more ways.
Found more ways.
Oh my god. But yeah, what's his name? Professor guy with the glasses who started all this.
Oh, John Hammond.
Yeah, he's the worst in my opinion.
Yeah.
He first of all, I don't know how he had enough, like he must have been a bajillionaire to have enough money to have an island, thousands of dinosaurs, a whole crew, a ship, a facility in San Diego, like so much stuff.
So much.
He does say that the failure of the park put him on the brink of Chapter 11 for years.
Yeah.
And this might be what brings him back.
But I spared no expense.
Yes.
No expense.
No expense.
Spared none. I'm broke.
Shut up.
I am fucked. Oh.
So
Oh my God.
we don't really. I guess it's a twist, kind of, that when they get like they capture the T-Rex, like I guess you can say it's kind of a twist in the movie. So we don't know the whole film.
Right.
We think the Australian guy just wants to hunt one, but really he wants to catch one
Right.
and bring it back to America like they've never done in movies with any large creature ever, and it's always worked out great.
Sorry, I had something in my throat there.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring up King Kong as an
Right?
example.
Yes.
But they take him to the West Coast, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
They put him in Hollywood.
I'm not 100% sure where Costa Rica is,
Right.
but I don't think it's off the West Coast. I don't think. I could be completely
Could be
wrong,
Could be wrong.
but I think it's like over here.
Like a Caribbean.
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I think
down
it's over
over
here.
here.
So they sailed all the way around South America.
They went through the Panama Canal.
Yeah.
yeah,
that's
with
wow.
a T-Rex.
Yeah, that's rough.
What's your cargo? You don't want to know.
Yeah, don't they need like major permissions to like go through the Panama
Oh, you're gonna
Canal?
need a permit.
Yeah.
Permit or two. I think.
Yeah.
Express written consent of the NFL.
I guess. That's like
No, but like the thing with the Australian guy. So you had one in the first one. So of course you got to bring in another Australian in the second one. Now I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a three-peat in the third one with a.
Oh, don't be giving
another
away too much
Australian.
here, Steve.
But with him in this one, he hunts the T-Rex.
Yeah.
His whole thing is he wants to hunt the male T-Rex. So he does. He gets this thing in a cage, and then he's like, you know what? I'm out of the movie. Bye.
Yeah,
Like,
he was done. Yeah.
When this
just
thing
left.
is running around San Francisco, this would have been a perfect time. Bring him back. Like, have Jeff
then he gets to-
Goldblum
yeah.
work with him and be like, hey, we got to bring down the T-Rex again. He's like, oh, crikey, you brought me out again for one last ride.
Or this is the chance he gets to kill it.
Crikey.
Yeah, or he actually has to kill it, and then it's a moral thing, like, oh, these creatures didn't do anything, and
Then
we killed them.
They could have had that, panning along the body of the T-Rex with the
Right.
city on the city street.
Yeah.
People walking up to it with like
like tables and
hazmat
shit.
suits on and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
They're like, can we eat dinosaurs?
Missed opportunity.
But yeah, like he's the only character in this movie that I'm like, all right, I respect you. You're like you see the magic in the island, but you also understand that this rich guy is just trying to milk whatever he can out of it.
He does a good job serving his purpose in the film, and this is kind of one of those times where it's like the way they got rid of him was kind of weird.
Yeah, he just walked off.
He was like, "Nope, I'm gone," and you're like, he was integral for everybody surviving. Kind of like he comes
like
in clutch a couple times. He was important, and then they're just like, "No,
bye,
no more."
Yeah, didn't he just say like, "Oh, I'm going to collect my"?
Yeah, well, like he gets his T-Rex, and then he's just like,
"All right,
I'm done being around death," and he gets on a helicopter and he's gone.
It's like, all right, dude, you're supposed to be this gristled hunter veteran,
right?
And I was like, oh, sure, the one time you do the hunting, but you're the one getting hunted, you don't like it, of course.
Maybe his contract time ran up, and they had to finish shooting with him.
Listen, we only had you in the budget till Thursday. It's Thursday at 11:55. Walk off set.
We gotta go. We gotta pay him for a whole extra week.
But he's like, oh man, my friend died. Now I have to go. I'm a Lone Ranger now. I'm done with death.
Oh, what I was gonna say that one of the things in this movie that is maybe not as great as the first one is they lean a little more into the CG elements of a lot of the dinosaurs, a lot of the other things that are being blown up and whatnot.
Like we say all the time, when they use an animatronic, like that baby, the baby dinosaur, and they bring it in, and
looks great.
Like it's so much better. And I understand the bigger you have to make it, the more clunky it gets. But even like the scenes where there was just parts of the dinosaur, like I think in this one, a couple of the close-up shots with the T-Rex, like a couple of them were an animatronic.
That they probably already had from the first.
Right. And then some of it, if it was like not this close up against a window, it was CG.
Right. And like even with the one guy who gets attacked by the compies, like some of those shots, there's actual robots on him, and they're just like
they kind of fill in the spots.
Right. And then when it comes to the action parts and he's got to throw them off, then they become CGI, and it's like
the one that grabs his lip, like it's something's actually pulling on his lip. You know?
So it's like they tried to, and I mean it's still Spielberg, so he tried to do what he can, but with the grasp of this one, I definitely feel like you couldn't have done all of these scenes with animatronics, though it would have been so much cooler.
Would have been cool.
Figured it out.
And we're also looking through this, looking at this through the lens of 2024, where we have
know
much
how
better
far the CGI goes.
We know that it's better now. So I think for the time too, because we're still in the 90s. It was pretty good. There were a couple spots that I pointed out were a little janky, like. Some of the times they would have a dinosaur in the background and it looked huge, and then it would kind of come into the foreground and it looks really small now. So
like those raptor fights got a little
the perspective kind of they like just click and dragged on the way in.
And
shrunk it down. Well, wait, it should fit in the whole shot.
Well, they're like, if they're still at that size, when they roll into camera, they're gonna block the whole camera, and then we can't see Julianne Moore in the background,
right?
Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, overall, pretty good effects. I think the best part of it was all of the crashes, the cars, the falling off the cliffs, the explosions.
Again,
those were good.
I don't know what's in that trailer, but it wasn't 68 tons of napalm.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I hate it. Arnold Schwarzenegger is not in this movie. It doesn't need to explode.
There's a cardboard cutout of him though in that Blockbuster. Wasn't that a throwback? Fucking Blockbuster that a bus goes through. Yeah,
that's fun.
It was the 90s. Yeah. I loved it.
I still have my Blockbuster card in my wallet. But yeah, that's one thing that'll always be a pet peeve of mine. It's like, okay, it's electronic equipment. Everything's electric. The one jerry can is full of water that they put a fire out with earlier, and it's just like would have taken out a building with the explosion. Hate it. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, it took a whole chunk of the
I'm done yelling.
out.
I'm done yelling.
Was there any other inconsistencies you wanted to point out? Maybe with the machinery, guns?
The Australian guys break action, double barrel shotgun. At first I was like, shotgun's stupid. Then it showed that they're slugs, but they weren't shaped like shotgun slugs. They were shaped like rifle bullets, and the barrel was way too thin for that caliber of rifle round. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It was still a shotgun load.
Just saying, folks.
Just saying, you heard it here first.
The barrel was really short, so you'd have zero accuracy with that. And yeah.
Especially where he was trying to shoot from. I was here. T-Rex over there. Shotgun, definitely best weapon.
The other thing is Vince Vaughn pulls out the 2 actual shells from his pocket because there's a point where he needs to shoot it.
Yeah, and it
goes click, and he pops the shells out, and you can see their spent casings. And then I think it's on the helicopter out or whatever. He's like, I guess this is, one less dinosaur that got killed or something stupid like that.
One life saved.
So you can't pull those out with your fingers. Like you can't take a shell and pull the shell out of the casing with your you can't do it.
Yeah.
You just can't. They're pressed in on purpose. You can't do it. Piss me off.
Yeah.
Also, they look like cartoon bullets in his hand.
It's so cartoony. It's like no, you have to have the machine that takes it out. It's not. You can't.
How did he get them out?
He's really strong.
Yeah.
He's really strong, guys.
Because it's lever that grabs onto it, holds the shell down, and then you got a reef on it to get it out because they're pressed in.
Yeah. Well, I saw Vince Vaughn was doing some push-ups off screen.
No,
he could just pop it. It's like
do
popping a zit.
If he was strong enough to do it, his shirt would have come off at some point in the movie. His shirt stayed on, flabby, weakling.
Well, I mean, it was the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we got obsessed with people taking their shirts off, especially dudes in the 2010s.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was the era of ripped dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are putting a lot of work in to get that way,
Yeah.
so they should show it off. But
not everybody has to be jacked.
In dense
I'm
forest,
so sick of that.
in dense forest, it's good to have a shirt on, or else you're just gonna be
covered in ticks.
You're gonna be cheesecloth by the end of it, and dinosaur-sized ticks.
Yeah.
Like
this big.
Like the mosquito in that stupid movie with Jack Black.
Oh, yes, King Kong.
Yeah.
That was King Kong. Shit. Anyway,
about this movie, I was gonna
sorry.
bring up a point. So when we're in the truck falling off the cliff scene,
Yes.
explain to me why nobody ever tries to save themselves when there's, you're falling. You have, say you have, I don't know, fallen on a sheet of glass that is breaking underneath you, and somebody comes to, I don't know, reach a hand out and try to save you. Why would you not? Thank you for your help. I will take your hand. This girl refuses to do anything to try to save herself.
And they still let her go up the rope first.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah.
But it was almost like, no, this is how I die. Oh, we won't let you. But they, there's that happens in movies all the time.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna go, it's on the island with dinosaurs. They could have done that, and we'd have been like, all right, okay.
Just leave me, save yourselves.
It wouldn't have been the first time in a movie where someone's like, no, go without me.
Yeah, then Jeff Goldblum has to be like, no, I can't leave without her.
And this, she's just like, I'm gonna stare into the camera and not move.
Grab my hand.
Life grabs my hand.
Come with me if you.
This is literally how life finds a way. Take my hand.
Find a way to grab my hand.
Jeff Goldblum.
Hi, Jeff Goldblum.
What are you wearing?
My shirt's unbuttoned.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. One from the bottom too. It always opens a little much.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing some navel. Sorry.
I also want to know, how did they actually capture the T-Rex? Because we go from T-Rexes running around, killing people, stepping on people, to, now it's in a cage.
Answer is off screen.
Yeah.
He shot him with a dart off screen.
Off screen. We did not see it happen.
And they had a whole T-Rex cage ready to go that they built around him somehow. Either that or they just oiled up his belly and just slid him in.
It was perfectly sized for that specific T-Rex.
They knew how big this T-Rex was going to be, especially laying down.
See, this is something where you could have that cage there and then just put a huge drag mark behind it, and
that's all we would need.
Idiots like me would be like, they just towed him.
Yeah.
They towed him over here. Okay.
Yeah. You put cables at the front of the cage, like they drug the damn thing in, and then it's not like you just built this huge metal box around a passed out T-Rex.
The dinosaur's like, where did you say you want me to go? Over here on the metal slab. All right.
What if
like no?
I would have loved it if this thing woke up and just stood up and broke everything off of it.
Or just ran around with the cage on like a cat with a bag on its head.
Smashing into all the trees and shit. Let me out.
So this T-Rex that they capture is the same T-Rex that has the baby T-Rex.
Yep,
so we have the same baby T-Rex, and somehow we captured the baby and the mama, and they put them on a ship. Right. And they thought the best plan of action was to bring it to a city where they don't really have everything set up and they don't really have a plan.
Nope.
Right.
And we don't find out about it until they're filming the commercial for it on the island with the dinosaurs instead of doing it in a studio beforehand. They're like, we don't want to spend the money in case all of you die. So if everything goes well the first few hours, go ahead and shoot the commercial. And then
if you could just airdrop it to us.
Zip it to us.
It's like John Hammond had an idea. Why fly people to Costa Rica when we could bring the people to San Francisco? I just, again, it brings up the point. If the one where they had everything set up and ready to go, what on earth would make you think an unfinished facility is ready to go for a T-Rex and its kid?
And I think you'd start small.
Again, it's a lot of faith in untested equipment.
Right.
It's I don't know if it's kind of a theme with a lot of these movies where there's dinosaurs killing people, is the dinosaurs didn't stay where the people thought they were going to stay.
Right.
Michael, do you think there's maybe a lack of quality control going on?
Someone got paid to say it was fine. That's
who is the quality control coordinator? I need to know.
My professional opinion is someone may or may not have slipped me a few dollars and said, this all checks out, right? Yeah, I didn't see anything glaring.
You got it, boss man.
Or I would just come up with, the front of the stairs aren't painted yellow.
Yeah.
So there was we find a few minor infractions. Other than that, the mechanics are solid.
It's like, how's the Velociraptor pen? It certainly existed.
It's great.
There are some walls.
Do the electric fences work?
There's fences and electricity.
They're definitely turned on. Whether they work or not is a different story.
Whether they can, hold the brute force of a T-Rex, I'm not sure. But
and then this is another perfect example of employee exploitation.
Yeah.
They did not tell any of the people except for there was probably 7 or 8 people that actually knew what was going on.
Right.
Because by the reactions of the rest of the, when the guy he wakes up and just starts screaming, it's like, hey man,
you knew we were on it.
This wasn't in the thing at all. No, this wasn't anywhere.
Was that in the pre-flight briefing? Hey, you might see a T-Rex. Please don't scream. Landing on this island, the first thing should be, hey, if you run into a T-Rex, apparently if you don't move, you're good. Just stay still, don't scream, Jeff.
The signs at a national park, it's for the different kinds of bears and how to react. It's with Tyrannosaurus, be still. With Velociraptors, sacrifice a friend.
Run faster.
Don't go in the long grass.
So also they're coming to San Francisco with these dinosaurs.
Yes.
And the first thing that happens is, the ship is coming onto the dock at a speed way too quickly.
Yep.
What has happened to the crew?
Let me stop you there. What do you think the best course of action would be? To stand there gawking? knowing full well this ship is coming at you.
It's gonna get
like fucking 45 miles an hour. You're just.
Yeah, I'd be sprinting.
My favorite part of this scene is, Steve, we knew why there was no people there, but they don't tell you, and you kind of have to read about it and then go, yeah, whatever. But my favorite part about this is the pterodactyls that killed everybody on the ship waited until it was within a certain amount of radio silence acceptability right before they hit the shore.
Yep.
So the pterodactyls, in a flying V pattern, the natural pterodactyl migratory pattern, flew just out of radar range of the ship and said, "We're 6 clicks out. Move in." And then they went.
They were
and killed
flying low to avoid the radar.
Yeah.
It
pans back from the ship and they're just below the deck of the ship.
They all got goggles on, just
night vision
with the.
They got the headset.
The oxygen.
Swoop from the left.
Goose, where is he? Where is he, Goose?
Raptor 3 to Raptor 4.
Squawk!
Pull up.
Oh my god!
But that to me, that's just so silly. It's just like the
perfectly
pterodactyls
timed.
just kept everybody like, all right, you answer the radio, but no funny business.
All right, if you react, you're losing a hand, buddy, and I'm gonna place it in a very dramatic fashion.
But then, there's no trace of
no blood, nothing.
Velociraptors. There's just dead people and body parts.
Well, and I think that's
a leg and 2 hands.
Yeah.
And like that's where this story falls apart instantly.
Yep.
If they actually had those pterodactyls in there and they showed you them ripping apart this crew that close to San Francisco, that throws your whole movie out the window because it's like they're not just going to stay on the island. These things can fly. Some of them can swim. They'll just make their way over.
If they got loose, where are they?
Right.
Where did they go between taking down the whole crew inside the boat?
Yeah. Did they just like, our job's done,
And
turn
then they
back?
just-
The T-Rex will take it from here.
You see, they had to go back. They only have a certain mile radius before they have to go back to refuel.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
So they got to the we're
back
not
to
gonna,
base.
the classic. In 2 miles, we won't be able to make it back.
Yeah.
We will make it back, Johnny.
Yeah,
Your daughter will see you again.
yeah.
A little bit of that. So that was kind of a weird, like, why? Okay, if they're all dead, where are the dinosaurs?
Yeah, because like
Whatever.
they don't explain it, but it can't be the baby T-Rex because it wasn't on the ship. It can't be the parental T-Rex because how the fuck did it get out and then get into the control room?
It's like,
and
wait,
then
we're
go
gonna
back?
sneak attack.
Yeah,
aim at the mainland.
And like the ceilings are only so tall in a crew, like a cabin crew
Right.
sort of situation.
Like even if they just put a couple of those little like compies in there,
Yeah.
like
all right, cool.
they open the door and those things go skittering out. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
Then you're like, okay, cool, that makes sense. But don't like have me fucking Google what happened to the crew
Right.
of the ship.
Right, and that's the thing. You kind of have to look it up.
Yeah.
And then it says what was planned, and you're like, oh.
But the budget allowed for
great.
Yeah.
one severed hand holding a steering wheel. That's all the budget.
The
called
other
for.
thing is we got to see a lot of the dinosaurs running around eating people. Like we're not lacking in that department.
Right.
So maybe we don't need the T-Rex around the city
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
Driving a car, that big elaborate plan, like, oh, if the baby's there, then the mom will follow. It's like, oh, gee whiz.
Oh,
Yeah.
can I just point out the bit of racism back in the 1990s where you have the giant monster running through the city and of course you zoom in on the Asian tourists who were there.
That was pretty great.
Like,
That was pretty great.
Like as a kid, I always like thought, I'm like, why would they zoom in? And then as an adult, I'm like, oh, because you're trying to make it like Godzilla.
A little
like,
nod
really.
to, yeah, which is stupid because,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
Now, if this T-Rex started breathing fire, that would be fucking sick.
You just see its spines lighting up.
It's
mean-
charging.
That's basically what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Let's unleash a T-Rex in a major city. Sounds like
For-
a great
yeah.
idea.
28 seconds.
Yeah. Not even enough
It's like,
time.
come on.
It's like when they set Jason loose in Manhattan, but he was only actually in Manhattan for about 15 minutes.
He walked like 3 blocks.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you know what? I don't want to be in Manhattan.
You know what?
You know what? The traffic is just a nightmare.
It's ridiculous.
You
There's
call these
cameras
bagels?
everywhere. call
It's
these bagels?
stinky. People are yelling at me.
This guy just fucking cut me off. Now I'm going to cut his head off.
I can't get anything done. I have to constantly murder.
But the speed at which they wrangle the T-Rex back onto the boat, incredible.
I think they saw with what they planned the runtime, and they were like, "All right, so we've got all this filmed. Let's film this much more."
Yeah, there's about 20 minutes left.
Shove it and just ram it into the other hour and a half.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing these Jurassic Park movies haven't done, and this one kind of introduced that I thought would be a cool idea. Like, what happens when dinosaurs are integrated into human society? Like, what happens when these things just start showing up, like in your backyard eating your dog? Like, it's a cool idea, and if they did a little bit more with that and
like
a little bit less on the island,
they could have halved, or even more than halved, the island time.
Right,
exactly.
And
could you imagine if the islands is cut in half, and then the next half of the movie is they bring over a T-Rex, they bring over a Velociraptor, they bring over like a couple of the dinosaurs to just test out this San Francisco park,
and they get loose.
And they minimum creativity is like the Velociraptors find the nearest park,
right, and start
eating dogs.
The T-Rex goes just outside the city, so people leaving or entering are getting jacked. You know what I mean?
But it would be so cool. And then, like, that's your end of the movie. Like, Malcolm's got to wrangle up all these dinosaurs. He's got the paleontologist with him to help him figure out what are the migratory patterns of a fucking stegosaurus? Like, how do we get him back?
And then the third movie would have been, let's use the skills we've learned because my name's Jeff Goldblum and I've been on that island twice.
Right.
And then they figure it out.
Yeah. Like,
meanwhile, jacking people at, like, newspaper stands and stuff.
Like, I don't want to tell Steven Spielberg how to write his movies, but if there
Should've
was a
done it this
scene
way.
of a Velociraptor mugging a guy in New York City, that would have been cool.
And like he's carrying like a sandwich or something, and he just like cocks his head and then eats the hand and the sandwich and then runs off.
running down Broadway.
But for, to follow up that first movie with this, I think everybody's main thing is we want to see more dinosaurs jacking people.
Right.
And they did that.
Yeah.
They did do that.
They did that.
A lot, and it was quite enjoyable.
It was still mostly at night and in the rain, but they were still jacking people.
The two T-Rexes who chomped on either side of that dude and ripped him in half.
Couple cool ones.
Oh, it's
good.
Gorgeous.
And then the one skill that his daughter has is used to just absolutely skewer.
Yes. Oh, the gymnastics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's always a skill with whoever the child
We had a hacker.
female actress is.
Now we got a gymnast.
And yeah, she did the double bars.
She did an uneven bar routine into drop kick.
Just
gave the Velociraptor some sweet chin music.
Kicked him and impaled him.
And it, skewered him on
Awesome.
some
and she
random
gets
piece
a
of broken shit.
9.8. Great.
And I just love Goldblum being like, they cut you from the team?
Yeah. Another one of those things. A couple times we were like, really? You're going to say that while getting chased by a dinosaur?
Have to say a little quippy line.
Must move faster. But I mean, out of all the sequels, this one's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Because they lose me in Jurassic World. The third one, we'll see it in 2 weeks.
We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch.
Because we're gonna go over that one, and we were like, we don't really need to do the other ones.
No, we're not touching Jurassic World.
At least at this time.
Yeah, maybe next year when we're bored and we're like, let's watch the other three.
This series doesn't need those movies.
Yeah, and they're their own trilogy, so we can save that trilogy for a different day.
True.
Probably never.
But it was a successful franchise in the 90s, so that means we have to bring it back.
Yeah, give it 10 more years. There'll be Jurassic Universe.
When was Jurassic World? Like 2018, like around there?
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, that was the time to bring everything back.
Yep.
Yeah, because you got to cash in on the nostalgia.
That's when we're bringing back Halloween and Scream and Star Wars movies and like all of these things that are like let's bring back.
Yeah, it's on a 10-year loop. Every 10 years, we got to redo what we did.
Instead of letting a new generation of writers write their own shit, we're going to have the old generation of writers force the new generation of writers to adapt 1995 to today's age and connect it to today's audience instead of just writing something original that would connect to today's audience and yesterday's audience.
But we can't put TikTok jokes in the old Jurassic Park, so we got to write a new one.
Yeah. It's like, and we don't know how to do TikTok jokes, so hire someone that's 24.
And then we're going to have a velociraptor rip a guy apart, and somebody's going to film it and put it on TikTok.
Yeah. The newest Jurassic Park is just all cell phone footage.
Yeah, it's all
found footage.
So most of it's just pointed at the ground while you hear the reaction to it.
Yeah, no, it's just an influencer running around Jurassic Park. Oh my God, guys, it's me at Jurassic Park. My buddy just got eaten. Fucking subscribe.
And I'm Jake Paul.
Yeah.
God, I hate.
They are really old, and he does have a chance to fight them. So,
yeah. But any final thoughts on Jurassic Park: The Lost World? Jurassic Park,
still a classic.
Yeah,
dinosaurs jacking people.
Yeah, popcorn movie.
100%.
Nostalgia.
I had all these toys growing up. That's my final thought.
Dinosaur squish. That's my final thought.
Dinosaur squeeze.
Dinosaur squeeze.
Well, join us in another 2 weeks as hopefully we get to see another dinosaur squeeze.
We will.
We'll be back with Jurassic Park 3. That one doesn't.
What do they call?
It's just
it?
Jurassic
the third
Park
one.
3.
I didn't think there was a tagline.
Yeah, it's actually Jurassic Park 3 claw marks.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Monster.
This year it's bigger. Something like that. I forget what the tagline is, but join us in 2 weeks for Jurassic Park 3 claw mark.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Live and uncut. It's Jurassic Park.
And I gotta hunt some dinosaurs.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.